So pricing is a very personal thing. It could be seen as complex, it could be seen as simple, and it's certainly something which gets talked a lot on the different forums which I'm on, and people ask me this question quite a lot. And the question is, should I put my prices up? And kind of here's my thoughts on it. So I had a podiatry clinic for 8 years, and the clinic saw all kinds of things. It was mostly musculoskeletal because that was what I was interested in, but there was a fair amount of routine went through there as well, and verruca treatments and nail surgery. A pretty bog standard podiatry clinic based in a dental practice. And day one, it was set up, the prices were set, and those prices didn't change for 5 years. And it didn't change at all for 5 years. And there's lots of reasons why that is, which I can talk about until the end of time. But there was a point where I knew that prices needed to go up, and I took that jump. It's very brave. I took that jump to put the prices up, and the prices went up by 33%. They went up by roughly £10, pretty much overnight. And I told myself this big story about how people are going to turn around and go, we don't want to see you, it's too expensive, we can't afford you anymore, we're going to go somewhere else. People were not going to value it, and we're not going to pay that price difference. And I told myself this story that people wouldn't like me and I'd lose patience. The reality was that in that time that I put my prices up by those £10, I lost about 2 patients out of my entire caseload. And my revenue went up by a huge amount, pretty much over the course of that next year. It was a massive, massive change. The irony was, when I had a smaller price increase a couple of years later, I actually lost more patients. That for me was just a very, very bizarre thing. But up until that point, I told myself that by putting my prices up, I was going to lose patients because patients wouldn't like me or wouldn't value the service. And actually, that just wasn't true. So let's bring it back to the question, should you put your prices up? And there's lots of reasons why in your head you tell yourself not to do it. Patients won't like me, I'll lose patients, I'll feel uncomfortable doing it, my patients can't afford it, all these kind of things, all these stories which go through our heads. But if you have a business which gives you good profit, good lifestyle, you're happy, you see the patients you want, you've just got an environment and a lifestyle which serves you, chances are you don't need to do anything, everything is fine, you can leave it and it can stay the same. But if you're not getting that, if you're getting a business which isn't giving you profit, which isn't making you happy, and you're not enjoying and you're not serving your clients, then you probably do need to increase your prices. By how much will depend on your circumstances. But there are benefits to increasing your price. There's benefits in terms of you can get more time off. You can go on courses which you may not have afforded to go on before. You can improve and increase your lifestyle, if you get holidays and that kind of thing, if you really, really want to. There's also an element that it will increase the public and patient perception of the value of your service. The higher the price, it means that people will look at it and go, that must be good value because the price is higher. And that is something which we see across the board. There's a reason people buy Apple phones, and there's a reason that people buy, expensive German cars, and there's a reason that there is a reason why things which have a higher cost to them, a higher investment, are perceived to be better value. And that may or may not be the reality based on how things are. But the choice as to whether you increase your prices is going to be based on many things. Your business model and your numbers, your feelings around it, and really what you want to achieve further down the line. And that's why it becomes a very complex question. Most of the time you'll hear the question asked, and the first thing people will say in an answer, well, do I put my prices up? The answer will be yes. But actually, there's things which you need to think about before. But before you go off and think about this and kind of mull over it and look at your books and look at your numbers and decide how you feel about it and phone a friend and all that kind of stuff, let me give you another real world example. This is somebody who I coached recently around their business. And this person has the most amazing business. They've got the most amazing energy and attitude. They have the most amazing patients. They have the most amazing lifestyle. Everything for them is absolutely fine. And in reality, they probably don't need to do anything with their pricing at all. But we talked about ways in which the business could be improved, talked about ways in which they could be improved. And we settled on the one thing which could be changed very, very easily, which was increase your prices. And what we found is when we crunched the numbers, and when we looked at what would happen if the price was increased by £5 per patient, that with no extra work, no extra patience, continuing at the pace which was going for the moment, so exactly the same workload, that person would end up with a 5-figure increase in their turnover for a year. So 5 figures, £10,000 increase in their business just by putting the prices up by £5. So have a think about that. Have a think about how more money in your business for the same amount of work could really change the things that you want to do. It could change your lifestyle, it could change the holidays, it could change the courses you go on, it could change the training. And I'm not trying to sell it to you. I'm not trying to say to you that you should put your prices up. That's entirely up to you. But these are the things which you need to be considering and thinking about within your business.